Welcome to Stock Durbar with Team William in India. Please go through the registration. Please go through the disclaimer that the registration granted by the SEBI, membership of BASL, and certification from NISM is nowhere guarantee performance of intermediary or provided the assurance of return to investors. Investment in the security markets are subjected to market risk. Read all the related documents carefully before investing. Okay, so let's begin with today's session. We start with Nifty 50 setup as always. So if you can see over here, Nifty is, last week was a tough one for the markets. Not only the benchmark index, the Nifty or the Sensex, but also for the broader market. There was a, sell-off across the broader market. In the process, Nifty breached its 21 DMA as well as the 50 DMA, and distribution day has increased to 4. So, the market status has been changed from confirm uptrend to uptrend under pressure. हमने वो चेंज किया है. अभी 50 डीएमए को ब्रीच करने के बाद वहां से थोड़ा मार्केट को सपोर्ट मिला. तो दो सपोर्ट था मार्केट के पास. एक तो हम जो बात करते थे प्री बेल वगैरह में जो भी हमारे साथ होता था, वी यूज टू डिस्कस दीज लेवल्स. एक तो ये 750 वाला लेवल है जो प्रीवियस स्विंग लो था, एंड दूसरा था ये 50 डीएमए विच इज ऑल्सो गुड सपोर्ट. So both of them were there and we found support near that level. But अभी क्या हो रहा है, वहां से एक शार्प बाउंस बैक नहीं मिल रहा है हमको. वहां पे सपोर्ट मिल गया, वहां पे 1-1.5% का एक बाउंस बैक मिला, बट वहां पे हम लोग अभी सस्टेन कर रहे हैं. वी आर मूविंग नियर द 50 DMA. So let's see what happens from here. So two things over here. फर्स्टली अगर हम कल के हाई के ऊपर चले जाते हैं, ब्रॉडली एक जोन है 250 के अराउंड, ठीक है, उसके ऊपर निकलते हैं, देन वी माइट सी सम गुड मोमेंटम. एक रैली बन सकती है यहाँ से. ओके, एंड इफ यू लुक एट द 21 डीएमए, अगर यहाँ पे हम देखें तो 21 डीएमए इज समवेयर अराउंड 476. तो 21 डीएमए के ऊपर क्लोजिंग आने से ये रिवर्सल कंफर्म होगा. ठीक है, 250 पे पहला सिग्नल मिलेगा, 500 पे ये कंफर्म होगा, तो वहां से वी कैन मेक अ फ्रेश हाई. हम 26,500 की ओर फिर से जा सकते हैं. दूसरी चीज है कि नीचे की ओर जो पहला सपोर्ट है वो ये मंडे का जो लो बना था, ठीक है, 694 700 के अराउंड का, वो इम्पोर्टेंट है. और अगर वो लो ब्रीच हो गया तो 400-450 के अराउंड जो 100 डीएम है वो काफी इंपॉर्टेंट लेवल बन जाता है निफ्टी के लिए. सो मार्क दीज लेवल्स फॉर द इंडेक्स. देखो, ब्रॉडली मैक्रोज आर वेल प्लेस्ड फॉर इंडिया. अभी आरबीआई का भी पॉलिसी आया, वो भी एक अच्छा था मार्केट के लिए. गेन्स मिला बट वो गिव अप हो गया ड्यू टू लॉट ऑफ प्रेशर. एफआईआई का सेलिंग का प्रेशर है, थोड़ा जियो पॉलिटिकल टेंशन है, क्रूड ऑयल में एक इंक्रीमेंट हुआ है प्राइसेस में. सो लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स आर एक्टिंग एज अ प्रेशर ऑन द मार्केट. प्लस वी आर वेल स्ट्रेच फ्रॉम द लोज. ऐसा नहीं है कि recent rallies नहीं हुए. So there was a due correction and I think it looks like we got it. But let's confirm that if it is over or not, then I think the levels which I discussed are important to watch out. Now second thing is, दो चीज है, एक तो क्रूड वाला है, देन द फॉरेन मार्केट. सो फॉरेन मार्केट्स भी अभी काफी स्टेबल हो गए. चाइना में बहुत वॉलेटाइल हुआ, एक स्टिम्युलस मिला, बड़ा घटा, अभी फिर से बढ़ रहा है. ओके, सो दैट इज वन पॉइंट, बट इट डायरेक्टली डजंट इम्पैक्ट आवर मार्केट. सेक्टर स्पेसिफिक इम्पैक्ट रहेगा, जैसे मेटल पे इम्पैक्ट हुआ, ठीक है, वो उतना रहेगा. केमिकल्स पे रहेगा. की जो रॉ मटेरियल प्राइसेस है, इंग्रेडिएंट्स के प्राइसेस है, वो चाइनीज मार्केट से काफी डिपेंडेंट रहते हैं. ओके, नाउ सेकंड थिंग इज द यूएस मार्केट. वहां पे एक अच्छा रैली बन रहा है, इलेक्शन भी नजदीक है, तो लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स आर गेटिंग प्राइस्ड इन टू यूएस एज वेल. वहां भी एक रेट कट साइकिल has started, and I think the start of the rate cut cycle was good. I think a decent notable cut was there in the first meeting itself, and few more are expected in the next few months. So I think the rate sensitive stocks are doing well over there as well. But now the focus entirely shifts from today, okay, to the earning season. So if we are able to deliver that earning, if Indian companies are able to deliver the EPS growth, then I think we can adjust the PE, और ये जो अभी के लेवल से वो एक अच्छा सपोर्ट बन जाएंगे. बट इफ वी आर नॉट एबल टू डिलीवर द अर्निंग्स, अगर ये अर्निंग सीजन जो एक्सपेक्टेशन है उसके बिलो रहती है, देन वी माइट नॉट सी अ फ्रेश रैली फ्रॉम हियर. थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा. क्या पता 100 DMA फिर से टेस्ट कर ले, उसके नीचे के लेवल टेस्ट कर ले, एनीथिंग कैन हैपन. बट आई थिंक द two factors become very important. First is the मिडल ईस्ट सिचुएशन, दैट वहां पे एस्केलेशन नहीं होना चाहिए अभी ईरान इसराइल के बीच में, या फिर कुछ और वॉर फ्रंट पे इसराइल के साथ एस्केलेशन नहीं होना चाहिए. ये पहली चीज है. दूसरी चीज है कि इंडिया का जो मैक्रोस ठीक चल रहा है, आरबीआई का ठीक है, लेकिन अभी बात आती है अर्निंग्स पे, कंपनी स्पेसिफिक. तो आईटी सीजन, आई थिंक टीसीएस का अर्निंग्स ऑलरेडी आउट है, थोड़ा मिस किया है अर्निंग्स को, बट मेजर नहीं है. ऑलमोस्ट 12,000 करोड़ का अर्निंग आया है. सो लेट्स सी, आई हैव नॉट सीन द फाइन प्रिंट्स, बट ब्रॉडली अगर देखें तो इतना कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. रेवेन्यू ग्रोथ एक अच्छा मिला है, मार्जिन में थोड़ा डिप आया है, बट फिर भी 24-25 के बीच में मार्जिन मिला है, सो दैट इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. ओके. So these factors become very important as far as the Indian market is concerned. So I think by the next stock Durbar, after 15 days, major of the bigger companies might have reported, and we will get some clear picture over there. बाकी डिमांड फ्रंट ऑफ व्यू से, कंजम्पशन फ्रंट ऑफ व्यू से इंडिया में अभी कोई इतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. रेनफॉल ठीक रहा है, इन्फ्लेशन कंट्रोल में है, ऑयल प्राइसेस फिर से 80 के नीचे चल रहा है. सो सिचुएशन ब्रॉडली देखो, मोटा मोटा तो ठीक है, बट द रिजल्ट एज वेल एज द मिडल ईस्ट इश्यू, these are the two burning things you need to watch out. Now let's go to few sectors. So today bank nifty was the outperformer. Okay, so today's candle over here is not updated. राइट. सो द मेजर मोमेंटम, आई थिंक निफ्टी को आज बचा लिया है बैंक निफ्टी ने, बाकी एक आज भी अच्छा फॉल होता. सो बैंक निफ्टी वाज अप अराउंड 1% टुडे, 51,500 के ऊपर क्लोज मिला है, विच इज गुड. येस्टरडे जहाँ से ये रिवर्सल हुआ था, ठीक है, 51,700 से, और क्लोजिंग आया था सीधा 51 पे, विच वॉज नॉट गुड. एक डाउनसाइड रिवर्सल वाला सिनेरियो था, बट आज एक अच्छा रिवर्सल दिया और 50 DMA में बंद दिया. ऐसा नहीं 50 के ऊपर दे दिया, बट एग्जैक्टली एट द 50 DMA बैंक निफ्टी ने बंद दिया है. सो लेट्स सी टुमारो सेक्शन. आई थिंक टुमारो अगर आधा 1% की और फॉलोअप तेजी आ जाती है बैंक निफ्टी में, then the index will be in a good shape for leading the next leg of maybe rally possibly in the market. अर्निंग्स भी देखना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, कुछ नंबर्स आ गए ऑलरेडी, जो Q2 के डिपॉजिट ग्रोथ, क्रेडिट ग्रोथ के नंबर्स आए हैं. इतने एनकरेजिंग भी नहीं है और डिसअपॉइंटिंग भी नहीं है. द नंबर्स आर इन लाइन, थोड़े स्टेडी नंबर्स है, बट लेट्स सी हाउ इट जनरेट्स द अर्निंग्स में, कैसे ये फ्लो होता है सारे नंबर्स. सो दैट इज टू बी रिमेम्बर्ड. क्योंकि ब्रॉडली देयर वाज अ शार्प करेक्शन इन बैंक निफ्टी. ठीक है. काफी एक डीप करेक्शन आ गया. वैसे देखो तो 100 DMA भी इसने ब्रीच कर दिया था, 21, 50, 100 तीनों ब्रीच कर दिया था. ऑन मंडे द क्लोजिंग वाज समवेयर अराउंड लो 50,000 के अराउंड लो बना लिया था, 54,000 के हाई से अगर कंपेयर करें तो विद इन 10 सेशंस. It was a sharp correction. So I think if we hold from here, we will get a good pullback rally in Bank Nifty. Now, if you look at Nifty IT, right. So here it is quite stable. I think since last many days when market was getting a bit weak, it was moving sideways. ये एक अभी के weak market का आउट परफॉर्मर रहा है, and I think the results are very close. So we will need to see how the result pans out over here. Today it was a top decliner, more than 1% of decline in the Bank Nifty, and it found support above its 50 DMA के अभी भी ऊपर ही है. सो आई थिंक टुमारो ऑल्सो वी डू वांट दैट बैंक निफ्टी रिमेन्स अबव 50 DMA, क्योंकि यहाँ पे एक देखो उसने पूरे एक बेस बनाया है 41,500 600 के अराउंड 50 DMA के ऊपर. तो ये एक बेस टूटना नहीं चाहिए, और यहाँ से जो ये ट्रेंड लाइन निकलती है उसको ब्रेकआउट करके अगर ये बाहर निकलता है, देन वी विल सी सम गुड एक्शन over here in the IT space. Okay. Next, if we see Nifty metal, very volatile. Okay, there was some good rally after that China stimulus and all, but I think again with the market correction, it went lower. बट 21 डीएमए पे सपोर्ट मिला है, आज भी ये पॉजिटिव में क्लोज हुआ था, 0.5% ऊपर था. सो 21 डीएमए एक अच्छा सपोर्ट है मेटल स्टॉक्स के लिए. आई थिंक ग्लोबल मार्केट में जैसे मेटल्स के प्राइसेस मिलेंगे, रियलाइजेशंस बढ़ेंगे इनके, प्लस जो डोमेस्टिक कंजम्पशन है, डिमांड है स्टील का स्पेशली ड्यू टू इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर कंस्ट्रक्शन, दैट इज स्टिल रोबस्ट. और प्राइजेस अपने यहाँ इतने कम भी नहीं हुए थे, तो कोई मेजर इश्यू नहीं है. इट हैज फॉर्म्ड अ गुड पैटर्न. अगर आप निफ्टी मेटल इंडेक्स का पैटर्न देखो तो एक अच्छा बना है. इट हैज फॉर्म्ड यू कैन से अ कप विद अ हैंडल टाइप ऑफ पैटर्न. एंड आई थिंक इफ इट गेट्स गुड सपोर्ट एट 21 डीएमए और यहाँ से रैली करता है, देन वी माइट सी दैट दिस सेक्टर along with the banks can also be a good winner, big winner in the rally if it continues from here. Now, if we see Nifty FMCG, यहाँ पे थोड़ा वीकनेस आ गया है आफ्टर होल्डिंग वेल अंटिल यू कैन से द 1 अक्टूबर. वहां से जब 21 डी में ब्रीच किया, वहां से एक शार्प करेक्शन आया इवन इन सम ऑफ द बिग नेम्स इन एफएमसीजी स्पेस लाइक आईटीसी. एक नोटेबल करेक्शन हमको देखने को मिला है, एंड इट हैज ब्रीचेस 50 डीए. टुडे ऑल्सो इट वाज ओके, कुछ इतना मेजर मोमेंट नहीं था इंडेक्स में. बट नाउ नेक्स्ट लेवल ऑफ सपोर्ट इज एट 100 डीएमए. सो लेट्स सी इफ इट कैन फाइंड सपोर्ट एट 100 डीएमए. Generally, we have always seen that for FMCG, October is always a weak month as far as the price volume action is concerned. So we had put one thing on Twitter, एक analysis किया था कि generally banks के लिए October is the best month. Seasonality, so it's not always it follows, but लास्ट 12-13 साल में देखो तो बैंक निफ्टी ने सिर्फ एक ही साल नेगेटिव रिटर्न दिया है. ओके, इन मंथ ऑफ अक्टूबर. एंड आई थिंक इफ यू कंपेयर एफएमसीजी लास्ट 12-13 साल में सिर्फ 2 या 3 बार पॉजिटिव रिटर्न दिया है. सो एफएमसीजी के लिए जनरली सीजनलिटी के हिसाब से देखो ऑन चार्ट्स तो अक्टूबर वीकर मंथ है, बट it is not that it will always follow, but the technical follows the more. So I think if it finds good support around these level 100 DMA और 50 DMA के बीच में support मिलता है, then it can again stage a reversal and do well. But need to be careful as the technically थोड़ा weak दिखता है यहाँ पे. Okay, if you see auto, so here it has found good support at 50 DMA and वहाँ से ऊपर की ओर गया है ऑटो इंडेक्स. ब्रॉडली इट इज कंसोलिडेटिंग. अगर आप देखो तो काफी टाइम से, जून जुलाई अगस्त सितंबर अक्टूबर नाउ, एंड इट इज गोइंग ब्रॉडली. इसका मूवमेंट साइडवेज है 50 डीएमए के अराउंड, जो रेड लाइन है उसके अराउंड इसको सपोर्ट मिल जाता है और वहां से ऊपर जाने की ट्राई करता है, बहुत जा नहीं पाता है, फिर से वहां पे आ जाता है. सो दिस हैज बीन स्टोरी फॉर द ऑटो इंडेक्स. देखो अभी भी अंडरलाइन जो डिमांड है वो काफी अच्छी है, बट आई थिंक दिस मंथ इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अक्टूबर का डेटा कैसा आएगा, क्योंकि अक्टूबर में ही सारी नवरात्रि है, दिवाली है, तो जो सारा फेस्टिवल का इनका कारोबार है वो इस बार पूरा अक्टूबर में. लास्ट टाइम क्या था, सितंबर के सेकेंड हाफ में भी नवरात्रि स्टार्ट हो गई थी, अक्टूबर में दिवाली थी, बट दिस टाइम राउंड सितंबर में तो वो पितृपक्ष के दिन थे. आई थिंक बहुत कम उस टाइम पे सेलिंग होती है जनरली इस टाइप के कार्स की और फ्लैट रियल एस्टेट में भी. बट देखते हैं यहाँ पे अभी अक्टूबर में एक कैसा इन्वेंट्री काफी अच्छी है. company are ready for the big lasting October, but let's see how is the customer response over here. बाकी पीवीज में तो एक अच्छा डिमांड एक्सपेक्टेड है, कमर्शियल व्हीकल्स में भी डिमांड इंप्रूव हो रहा है, एंड विद गुड मॉनसून आई थिंक द ट्रैक्टर्स और टू व्हीलर्स. सो टू व्हीलर इज द ग्रीन स्पॉट आई थिंक इन द ऑटो इंडेक्स नाउ, और वहां पे एक अच्छा मोमेंटम हमको मिल सकता है. I think now let's go to your question, and in between, if any sector comes, we will discuss. So let's open the floor for the Q&A, and me, my colleague Vakar and Rajshekhar, we three will try to answer as many queries as possible. Okay. So let's begin with JSW Steel. तो यार है तो ब्रेक आफ्टर द ब्रेकआउट फ्रॉम अ डबल बॉटम बेस, एक पुल बैक आया था 50 डे में, फिर अच्छा रैली बना, फिर 3-4 दिन के पुल बैक के बाद यू कैन सी ग्रीन लाइन एग्जैक्ट सपोर्ट मिला 21 डे में. दिस इज वाई द मूविंग एवरेजेस आर इंपॉर्टेंट. एक अच्छा सपोर्ट लेके एक रिबाउंड मिला है, बट द बाउंस इज ऑन अ लोअर वॉल्यूम. सो आई थिंक वी वांट सम गुड वॉल्यूम एक्शन ओवर हियर. Fresh entry not suggested. If you are holding, you can hold with a stop loss of 985. ओके हाँ, 980-85 के जोन में एक स्टॉप लॉस रख के वहां से आप अभी होल्ड कर सकते हैं. फ्रेश एंट्री आई थिंक एक थोड़ा और करेक्शन अगर 50 डीएमए के नज़दीक या पीवट के नज़दीक 950 के नज़दीक आता है और वहां से रिबाउंड होता है जब हायर वॉल्यूम पे, तब ले सकते हो. एंड दिस आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट इज टेक्निकली. फंडामेंटली अगर इसको देखें तो थोड़ा वीकनेस है अभी अर्निंग्स में. सो दिस इस क्वार्टर का रिजल्ट आने के बाद थोड़ा आइडिया आएगा. सेल्स ग्रोथ डिसेंट है, बट अभी लास्ट 1-2 क्वार्टर में थोड़ा फ्लैटिश हो गया है. ROI ऑफ 11 इज गुड फॉर स्टील कंपनी, एंड नंबर ऑफ फंड होल्डिंग हैज इंक्रीज्ड ऑन अ रिलेटिवली हायर बेस, सो वहाँ पे कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. सो नेक्स्ट इज सर्वोटेक. So this gave a really good return. I think after breakout from a consolidation base, we can see that the momentum is quite sharp over here, and it is almost 76% above its pivot. So technically, no fresh entry suggested. If you are holding the stock, then I think the recent lows, I think most of the stocks जो आप hold करते हो recent low of 164, that becomes very very important to hold. उसके नीचे एक correction देखने को मिल सकता है. एक्यूमुलेशन डिसेंट हुआ है स्टॉक में. फंड होल्डिंग रिलेटिवली कम है बट इम्प्रूव हुआ है, विच इज गुड. ओके, अदरवाइज द रेटिंग्स आर ऑल्सो गुड, तो वहाँ पे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. So if you're holding, you can continue to hold, but fresh entry not suggested.
Yeah, hi Rishit. Vakaria. I'll starting some queries. Thanks. So, is Deepak Fertilizer and Infosys done? Sorry, just joined right now.
Yeah, okay, we can start with Phenolics. Okay.
Okay, first Phenolics, then we'll go to other ones. No problem. So, the stock has tried to form a bottom. The recent selling was pretty on low volumes. So, good sign as that, I mean, technically, as one can see. But fundamentally, if you look at the last 3 to 4 quarter results, I mean, especially on the top line, the stock has been pretty volatile, which is not a good sign. And even fund holding is not increasing at a very high pace. Even ROE is at 8%. So overall, fundamentally, I mean, the stock is trying to rebound fundamentally, but maybe a quarter or two is where you can understand how the stock is moving. Technically, too, the stock is trading above 18% above pivot at this moment. So, someone probably who bought at the earlier breakout, if still holding, can keep the recent lows as your uh, exit. Recent lows last time the stock managed to rebound from the 200 DMA as well. So 200 DMA or the recent lows can definitely be kept. If going forward, 200 DMA reclaim and even the 50 DMA reclaim was on good volume. So going forward, if uh, I mean certain key moving average at 21 or maybe 50 is left, so even that gets reclaimed on above average volume, maybe a good set of rally can start. But till that point in time, if the stock is consolidating within this range and it breaks the recent lows, it will be well enough suggested to move out. The next can be Deepak Fertilizer. Thank you. So overall, I mean, the stock is doing well in terms of technically last results are starting to improve. Uh, 3 to 4 quarter results weren't that good, and that's the thing. But last quarter result, it is trying to improve back. Technically and on the ratings wise, things look very good at this moment. Uh, Breakout at the previous breakout was unsuccessful. Less accumulation on the right hand side of the base as well, as you can see. So going forward, the stock is still 6% to from pivot at this moment. If it reclaims the pivot, but this time on a very good volume, shows signs of accumulation, uh, definitely can be a story in terms of for fertilizers to be watched out for. Definitely can have a look. Someone who's holding into the stock can keep the 50 DMA as their stop loss level, because if one entered at this breakout, I mean 50 DMA will be around 8% stop loss level, which is ideally the ideal stop loss or the standard stop loss that we keep. If someone have bought it from the previous breakout, is holding on to a decent gain, so can, if 50 DMA gets breached on above average volume, can definitely book out on partial profits at least. The next we can look at is Infosys. Thank you. So again, the stock is forming a flat base at this moment, trying to consolidate well on the right hand side. Didn't fell too much during the recent downturn in the market as well. So IT stocks have been resilient in the recent downturn. And even with recovery happening, or expected recovery happening in the US market post the rate cut, where assuming that the banking sector will rebound, and that is where most of the IT sector have a large exposure to the US banking sector. And that with that expectation, even European economy even rebounding, if the rate cuts are done in a proper manner, where there is lesser chances of recession or lesser fear of recession, maybe in a quarter or two, better picture will come into place. But on certain expectations and certain numbers getting delivered in the last couple of quarters, that is why you can see IT sectors, I mean, having a good set of rally. But I mean, keeping expectations aside, fundamentally and technically, fundamentally, yes, the stock is rebounding well. Technically, also, the stock is showing signs of strength at this moment, but is still 3% below pivot. If the stock breaks out, and I mean, as the kind of um, business news or the management expectations I was suggesting, if it fits your criteria, if it breaks out on above average volume, definitely, I mean, can be a good stock to watch out for if the price volume action holds well for the stock.
Thanks, Vakar. I'll take few queries now.
Sure.
And start with Shriram Finance. The stock has broken out from a stage 3 base pattern recently, and currently it is trading nearly 10% above the pivot. So it's not an ideal buy range to initiate position. There is no, and also during the recent sell-off in the markets, the stock breached its 21 DMA as well. However, 50 DMA has still been holding, so that level is very key to watch going forward. If that level is broken or breached, we can see a further downside in the stock. But initiating fresh positions is not advised at this moment, even though the ratings are looking good and few other parameters are also looking good. But there is no proper buy point at this moment, so we can hold at this moment. And if the 50 DMA is breached, we can start exiting positions. Next is Aditya Birla Capital. Currently, the stock tried to break out from a cup with handle base pattern, but due to the recent volatility in the markets, the stock failed to break out. And currently, it is trading very close to its 50 and 100 DMAs. So going forward, those two levels are very critical for the stock to hold. And initiating fresh position is not advised at this moment. EPS is very good at 90 because of the consistent growth in sales and EPS. But price strength is slightly on the lower side. It is the RS line is also moving sideways. We would like to see RS line trending higher and also price strength around 60 to 70 on absolute levels. So not a good stock at this moment to initiate positions. But if you're already taken position, the 50 DMA is very close to the current market price, so that level can be kept as a stop loss. That is just less than 1% from the current market price. So that if those levels are based on higher volumes, you can start trimming your positions. Next is Genus Power. Currently, it is not forming any proper base pattern at this moment. The last pattern was formed in the month of May, and from there it rallied higher, and currently it is trading more than 27% from the ideal buy range. There is one red flag in the surveillance NSE surveillance list. We can see there is high promoter pledging in this company, so which is not advised uh, in any stock. The promoter pledging is on the higher side. It is not a good sign that if anything goes wrong, then pledging becomes very difficult, and operations of any company will become very difficult. So that is on the higher side, so which is not a very good sign. Also, there is no proper base formation at this moment, so we can uh, not consider this stock for adding. And also, if you are already taken position, the volumes have dried up completely in the recent times. So 50 DMA is, you can take it as a stop loss, or 100 DMA depending on the buy price you have taken the position.
Thanks, Raj. I'll take few. Maybe one is
Okay.
a question on CG Power that can we buy now? Ideally, yes. Very close to buy zone. थोड़ा extended है. So I think today morning it was in buy zone, and it's a very good setup, stage two consolidation base, and the base is also what it should be like the low volume pullback. So within the base, some high volume accumulations over here. Okay, the blue dot is there. The fund holding is increased. Okay, ROE of 47 is excellent. So I'm checking all the parameters. Earnings revenue growth is good. Okay, some poor over here, but I think it will improve the way the earnings are improving. Otherwise, all the things are on the greater side. Yes, you can consider if your research is there in the stock, your investment advisors do advise, then I think this stock can be considered. Close a buy zone. Ideally, we prefer 0 to 5% में buy करना, but I think if you are more confident on it, you can consider. स्टॉप लॉस थोड़ा डीप आएगा, मे बी 21 एंड 50 DMA से काफी एक्सटेंड हो गया है. सो यू नीड टू बी वेरी केयरफुल विद SL लेवल्स. ऑलमोस्ट 21 से 12% और 50 से 16% ऊपर है. सो यू कैन ग्रेजुअली मे बी यू कैन डू पिरामिडिंग, और अगर पुल बैक आया तो पुल बैक पे ले सकते हो, दैट यू कैन. अदरवाइज अभी भी इफ यू आर मोर कॉन्फिडेंट देन इतना भी एक्सटेंडेड नहीं है, 0 to 5, 6, 7% तक ठीक है. Okay, next we can consider Sundaram Chemicals. Darshan Chemicals again. Yeah. So good support at 50 DMA in the falling market. Volume action भी पिछले कुछ दिनों से काफी low है when the market is falling. Fund holding काफी increase हो गया है, so this is positive. ROE of 31 is good. Last quarter कुछ I need to check if there is something unexpected happened. Otherwise, overall, if you see, the earnings have also been good. But the only thing is it is extended from the base, but it is giving a opportunity for the alternate buying. जब भी कोई ऐसा अपवर्ड ट्रेंडिंग स्टॉक 50 डीएमए पे आता है, जैसे कि यहाँ पे आया था, और रिबाउंड होता है, देन दैट इज गुड टाइम टू बाय, क्योंकि वहां से एक अच्छी प्रोबेबिलिटी है भागने की। यहाँ पे 50 डीएमए पे आया, ठीक है, लो वॉल्यूम पे आया, विच इज गुड। अभी अगर यहाँ से रिबाउंड होता है, देन यू कैन कंसिडर बाइंग इट फॉर हायर टारगेट्स। So that's not a matter to worry. Okay, if you are holding the stock, then I think it depends on the price that you are holding. If you have brought it recently, I think from the month of July or August, then I think ideally you should give 50 DMA, or the Friday's low, like what was this? Tuesday's low as a stop loss. Monday, Tuesday का low stop loss लगा दो 50 DMA के नीचे. But if you have been holding since long, then you can consider 100 DMA also as a stop loss if you are more confident on the story, because it's a good story. It's a fundamentally good company. Okay, it has good tailwinds to move ahead. Next, I'll take Moel, and yeah, consolidating around 200 DMA. It's oscillating around that level other than consolidating. Um, Wait for 50 DMA, reclaim for fresh entry. Fundamentals is good, like the recent growth in the EPS and sales numbers have been okay. The ROE of 12%, some improvement needed over here. Fund holding has increased, but number of fund holding stock has decreased. RS rating is quite weak. I think in the recent market, it was not able to outperform any time. I think since June high, it is trending lower. But I think if once it reclaims, इतना भी high volume पे selling नहीं आया है, buyer demand is still A minus. So this is what I like. अभी स्टॉक 36% गिरा है, ठीक है, 2 महीने में, 3 महीने में, और बायर डिमांड अभी भी ए माइनस है, तो दिस इज समथिंग गुड यू कैन वॉच आउट फॉर। सो ये जब भी, अभी इतना जल्दबाजी में नहीं लेने का, वेट फॉर 50 और 100 डी में रिक्लेम, जो सारे मूविंग एवरेज के ऊपर निकलता है, ठीक है, उसके बाद अगर इफ योर एडवाइस, इफ यू हैव योर गुड रिसर्च, देन यू कैन डेफिनेटली try to consider it. On the flip side, if you are holding and asking me for when to exit, then I think it's below all the key moving averages. तो अभी जो ट्यूसडे वाला लो है, उसको स्टॉप लॉस लगा देने का। कोट व्यू का।
Sure. So I'll take some queries from you. Just a second. So Gujarat Fluorochemical, and can give me Siemens. GFL. Not GFL actually. Gujarat Fluoro. I mean Gujarat Fluorochem. Yeah, Fluorochem. Perfect. So fundamentally, the stock is having very bad quarters. The last 4 to 5 quarters, as one can see, is not been that productive, and that is why the EPS strength is going down. Technically, the stock is doing well, and it is 49% above pivot at this moment, hitting new highs. So a new entry into the stock, since it is 49% above pivot, most above key moving averages as well, is not advised. Technically, good price volume action is seen in the stock. Good accumulation whenever the stock has moved higher. It has moved higher on above average volumes, which is a good sign, and closed near the day's highs or whenever the stock is moving higher. So very good price strength, price volume strength the stock is showing. Flip side, I mean, if someone is holding the stock since the last breakout, I mean, still holding because there were times the stock had uh, breached its all key moving average, even 200 DMA as well. So now if you're holding it, still holding, so can keep the recent lows as the as your stop loss level, because that is still very deep, around 10-15% from here. So, I mean, if that gets breached, or if you want to still book partial profits on 21 DMA breach, can do that as well, because I mean, 14 since the stock is more than 49% above pivot at this moment. The next we can look at it is Siemens. Thank you. So the stock is forming a stage 2 cup base. All ratings remain very good. Buyer demand at A minus, price trend at 78, but RS line moving higher. Right hand side, the stock showing signs of accumulation. Left hand side, no major signs of distribution as well. Fundamentally, the stock doing very well. Fund holding for the stock increasing, ROE at 15%, decent enough, good. So all in all, checking most of the boxes on the canceling parameters at this moment, and stock is 4% pivot. So let the stock break out, and if it breaks out on above average volume, definitely a good stock to keep it in the buy watch list. If even your research suggests, then definitely can have a go ahead if you or your advisors suggest it to be a good buy. Someone hold on the flip side, if someone is holding at the previous breakout, yes, definitely good gains are there. If breakout happens, definitely can a good rally can happen. uh, on the flip side, if the recent lows in terms of I mean, somewhere it found support near the 50 DMA. So if 50 DMA gets breached on above average volume, I mean, someone who's holding should at least look to partially exit of the stock, or at least fully. The next we can look at it is Skipper. Yes, thank you. So all in all, the stock is doing very well, as you can see. So it is related to the power sector. I mean, one of the major manufacturers in EPC for an EPC player in the power segment, where I mean it's one of the largest player which manufactures the probably in the transmission and the distribution segment, where you see the power poles, the power cables, the construction, and even the setup, the maintenance, everything is done by them. So a very key player in the entire uh, power distribution and transmission segment, whether it be through thermal or through renewable, it is one of the key players, and that is why you can see with that thrust the stock is moving higher. But just can you show me this last stage count? I feel it's higher. Yes, that was my only. So new position into the stock is definitely not advisable. But since the growth drivers that I've mentioned, and even the and in terms of overall the parameters, the canceling parameters still pretty much intact for the stock. Even good accumulation still happening with the stock. So someone holding the stock, maybe not from the sixth or the fifth breakout, but maybe from an earlier breakout, can continue to hold, since the stock has been respecting its 50 DMA for a very long time now. So can keep the 50 DMA as your stop loss level. If 50 DMA gets breached on above average volume, definitely can think about exiting the stock, since good profits from an earlier base count is already done. New new entry into the stock is definitely not advisable, since it's a very late stage base at this moment. Wait for the stage count to get reset. That is when you can think about entering into the stock.
Thanks, Vakar. I'll take few queries now. I'll start with just engineering. It's a late stage base. You can see here, it's a late stage 5 consolidation base pattern. The recent breakout happened in July August area, and currently it is trading below pivot. Not much has happened. You can say it's a failed breakout, and it breached its key moving averages as well after breaking out. Currently, not in a very good position to take or initiate positions. Though the ratings are looking very good, you can see the EPS at 96, almost at the highest level. Price range is also good enough at 60 level. Number of funds section has seen a sharp improvement in the recent quarter, even though the number of funds on the absolute level are on the lower side. But it is a very small market cap company. It is still in the growing phase, and it needs to take some time or consistent earnings. It needs to report to showcase its strength, both operational wise and financial wise. But coming to the stock again, it's not in a very good ideal range to initiate position. And the question is about whether to hold or whether to exit. Today's action has been very good. The stock closed more than 6% higher on a very good volume, and in the process, it reclaimed its 50 DMA as well. So you can hold it at the current moment, and today's low can be kept as a stop loss going forward. Next is Elecon Engineering. Current base formation is very ideal. It's a stage 2B cup base pattern. The volumes have completely dried up during the base formation, which is a very good sign of ideal base form. And currently it is picking up momentum, and the volume is also picking up, and it is coming near the pivot range again. It is just 2% below the pivot. 716 is the pivot level, and current market price is around 700. So 2% from here, I will come back again to the ideal buy range. And considering the earnings and ratings, it's a very good stock to keep on watch list. And if you are looking for fresh positions, and if you are having capital at hands, you can definitely look out for stocks like these and start in a pyramiding approach with the small portions invested in the breakout. And then later on, if the stock picks up momentum, you can increase the exposure towards the stock. Next is Jyoti CNC. It's a recently IPO stock. You can say it's started trading from January. It listed on the exchanges at the start of the year. From there, it has been a very good trajectory. It has found very good momentum, and it has given very good returns to the investors who have taken positions at previous breakouts. But currently, for the last 2 to 3 months, it has been moving sideways, and in the process, it breached its 50 DMA as well. And currently, it is trading below 50 DMA and around 100 DMA. So that is not a very good ideal buy range according to our methodology to initiate positions. And today volume has picked up, but the price action is not strong enough for the stock to reclaim its 21 DMA. So as long as stock trades below moving averages, it's not a good sign. And on the downside, 100 DMA can be kept as a stop loss, and if that level is breached, I can exit stock. Next is Open Laboratories.
Which one was?
Open Lab. Yeah. Recent breakout is a very successful one. I can see here the stock advanced more nearly 70% from the breakout, and currently it is still holding its 21 DMA, which is a very good sign. So not a ideal range to take initiate positions. But if you have already taken position at the breakout, you can continue to hold your positions. 50 DMA has acted as a very good support recently. That is in the current week. So you can keep that level as a stop loss. If that level is breached, you can start trimming your positions or profit booking your profit. Coming to the ratings, ratings have been very strong and will continue to remain strong. Buyer demand, price strength, which are technical in nature, are very strong. EPS is also very good at 86%. So overall, on the ratings wise, the number of funds section has also seen very sharp improvement in the recent quarter. So most of the boxes it is ticking on the cancel methodology. The only concern is it is currently extended from the base pattern, so not an ideal buy range to initiate positions. And on the stop loss level, previously discussed, 50 DMA can be kept as a stop loss going forward.
Thanks, Raj. And there's one query on Ola. So there's a huge volatility after the listing. So listing was very subdued. और उसके बाद एक अच्छा मोमेंटम आया स्टॉक में and it was up almost around 50 to 60% from its listing price in just maybe 8 to 10 sessions. But then again there was a sharp reversal और रिवर्सल इतना जोरदार है कि फिर से ये अपने लिस्टिंग प्राइस के ऑलमोस्ट नज़दीक आ गया है एंड नाउ इट इज ट्रेडिंग अराउंड 90. देयर वाज अ गुड चांस टू फॉर्म अ आईपीओ बेस. अगर मान लो ये मोमेंटम के बाद यहाँ से स्टॉक घूम जाता तो एक अच्छा बेस बनने का प्रोबेबिलिटी था और बड़ी रैली होने का. बट द स्टॉक कंटिन्यू टू मूव लोअर. एक अच्छी बात यह है कि इतना हैवी वॉल्यूम नहीं है. बीच बीच में जब भी बाइंग आता है, ठीक है, इफ यू कंसिडर दिस सेशन ओके एंड दिस वन ब्लू वन, तो वहां पे एक वॉल्यूम अच्छा आता है. But I think the way it is trending lower, not a ideal time to catch the falling knife. I think let it, reclaim its 21 DMA. एक जो ये पूरा डाउनवर्ड इसका ट्रेंड बन गया है, इसको ऊपर आने दो. ऊपर आके एक बार ये 21 डीएमए अगर रिक्लेम करता है देन दैट इज वेर यू नीड टू वॉच आउट फॉर. और देखो कंपटीशन भी इंटेंस होती जा रही है. अगर आप बजाज ऑटो देखे, टीवीएस देखो, तो वो लोग मार्केट गेन, जो पुराने वेटर्न्स हैं टू व्हीलर्स के, दे आर गेनिंग मार्केट शेयर नाउ in the electric space as well. Okay, and then there are hero backed companies also, ether है ये. तो there is intense competition. ऐसा नहीं है कि it's a cake for them, the two wheeler electric. But let's see how they come up in the competition. अगर एक दो महीने का डेटा अच्छा आता है, if they are back on track with a good market share, ठीक है, सेल्स नंबर अच्छे आते हैं, टू बी डिस्कसिंग इन डिटेल. ओवरऑल टू व्हीलर ईवी मार्केट ही इतना अभी पिकअप नहीं कर पा रहा है जितना एक्सपेक्टेड था कुछ साल पहले कि बाय 23 4 5 ईवी में जो पिकअप होगा वो अभी नहीं हो रहा है. आई थिंक इफ दैट हैपेंस, इफ गवर्नमेंट कम अप विद सम स्कीम टू पिक अप द इलेक्ट्रिक टू व्हीलर इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स स्पेशली, then I think you can see some good momentum over here. बाकी 10-20% ऊपर नीचे तो like this can happen the way the volatility is, but for investment I think you should take some time, let it reclaim key moving average, एक आध रिजल्ट या फिर एक दो डेटा आने दो मंथली, फिर देखते हैं. Okay, the next one, Torrent Power. This stocks look interesting. ठीक है, बेस अच्छा बना है, 3B बेस. आई थिंक 3A के बाद थोड़ा मोमेंटम आया था बट देन इट स्टार्टेड मूविंग साइडवेज एंड नाउ इट हैज कंप्लीटेड द स्टेज 3B बेस. वहां से ब्रेकआउट हुआ, साइडवे मूवमेंट, 50 डीएमए पे सपोर्ट भी मिल गया है इसको. एंड आई थिंक yesterday there was some 6 to 8% move. That is due to they got a big contract in Mumbai for the supply of power and the related contract. So उसकी वजह से कल एक अच्छा 6 to 8% का गेन मिला था इसमें. आज देखो तो थोड़ा नीचे बंद हुआ है, ऑलमोस्ट 2.5% का कट. बट द गुड पार्ट इज वॉल्यूम इज लोअर. आज का अगर वॉल्यूम देखो तो वो काफ़ी लोअर साइड पे है. एंड दिस इज हाउ द स्टॉक मूव्स. आई थिंक इफ यू कैन सी इसका चाल देखे तो एक लॉन्ग टाइम तक थोड़ा 50 डीएमए के आसपास कंसोलिडेशन करता है, फिर एक बड़ा मूव देता है, फिर से कंसोलिडेशन करता है, फिर से एक मूव देता है. सो लेट्स सी हाउ इट गोज ऑन, बट इट इज ट्रेडिंग वेरी क्लोज टू इट्स आइडियल बाय जोन. फंडामेंटल्स अभी काफी इंप्रूव होने लगे हैं स्टॉक्स के. ठीक है, ROE ऑफ 15 इज डिसेंट. फंड होल्डिंग्स में डबल हो गया ऑलमोस्ट नंबर ऑफ फंड होल्डिंग द स्टॉक, सो दिस इज समथिंग रियली पॉजिटिव. बेस पैटर्न भी अच्छा है. सो लेट्स सी, आई थिंक इफ इट रिवर्सेस फ्रॉम हियर 20 डीएम में और ये आइडियल बाय जोन में रहता है, सो दिस इज अ गुड क्वालिटी स्टॉक. स्पेशली द टेल विंड ऑफ पावर सेक्टर इन इंडिया, द पावर कंजम्पशन दैट इज अवेटिंग इन इंडिया फॉर नेक्स्ट 5-10 years, जो बढ़ोतरी होने वाली है पावर कंजम्पशन में. ठीक है, तो उस सेक्टर से देखे तो दिस वन इज रियली गुड बैट. And last one query I will take is Symphony. So yeah, that's a good breakout, clean breakout from a stage to consolidation base. It has good fundamental rating, सब कुछ बढ़िया है. ठीक है, यहाँ पे कोई वांदा नहीं है. अगर होल्ड कर रहे हो तो you should hold this stock. Okay, all the ratings are good. Fund holding has increased. ROE of 20 is good. And the recent results have also been the good one. यहाँ पे एक accumulation अच्छा हुआ. ठीक है, एक्यूमुलेशन के बाद एक कंसोलिडेशन 50 डीएमए पे सपोर्ट मिला उसको, और फिर से वो भागा, और अभी रिसेंटली एक हाई वॉल्यूम कल ब्रेकआउट मिला. सो यू कैन कंटिन्यू टू होल्ड इफ यू वांट टू बाय फ्रेश. इट इज वेरी क्लोज टू बाय जोन, 0 to 5% में ही है. सो यू कैन डू योर रिसर्च एंड कंसिडर दैट. स्टोरी अच्छी है, इसका टेलविंड अच्छा है. ठीक है, हाउस होल्ड अप्लायंसेस का जैसे मार्केट बढ़ रहा है, आई थिंक इंडिया में जैसे परचेसिंग पावर बढ़ रहा है, कंजम्पशन बढ़ रहा है, तो दीज आर द सम ऑफ द डायरेक्ट बेनिफिशियरीज. सो लास्ट इस बार तो इसका सेल्स भी काफ़ी अच्छा आया था. आई थिंक जो अनएक्सपेक्टेड सिटीज़ है जैसे कि बैंगलोर है, वहाँ पे भी गर्मी बढ़ गई थी. कुछ और सिटीज़ में भी अनएक्सपेक्टेड गर्मी बढ़ गई थी, तो उसकी वजह से इनका सेल्स भी काफ़ी अच्छा हुआ है. एंड आई थिंक उस टाइम आई न्यू दैट इन्वेंट्री भी इतनी कम हो गई थी. आई थिंक it used to take time to get a Symphony air cooler and all. So it has a good product, good market, good demand, technical setup भी अच्छा है इसका. The only thing is little extended from moving average, so you need to be careful with your stop losses.
Thanks, Roshit. Vakarya, we'll take a couple of queries now. So I'll take Vartek Vabag and then NCC. So overall, very good story in your wastewater management, purification, desalinization segment. I mean, very, very strong order book as one can see, and that is why you can see a good rally happening. So the stock is nearly 180% extended from the pivot. So someone who caught the stock at the pivot is holding on very decent gains. New entry into the stock is definitely not advisable since the stock is trading above key moving averages as well. Fundamentally, last couple of quarters, the stock is picking up and is expected to pick up in this year as well. Management guidance continues to remain very good in terms of top line growth of 15 to 25% and bottom line growth in line with that, or even outperforming with margin guidance expansion of around 200 bips for the next couple of years. So, which is very, very good. And that is why, with all the expectation, order book to sales ratio of around 3.6, 3.7 to 1 on a forward basis, everything looks very good. So, someone who's holding onto the stock can continue to hold till the point in time at least 50 DMA does not get breached on above average volume. So, till the point can hold till the stock is holding on to its 50 DMA. New entry at this point is not advised. Let the stock form another base pattern. Maybe at that moment we can think about it. Next can be NCC. So for the last, I'll say a month or so, the stock has been consolidating on very low volumes, which is fine. Last 3 quarter results have been good for the stock. Maybe the stock is can form a base now. But since it is trading below all key moving averages, I mean, should wait out. Someone who's holding on to the stock still can hold if your risk appetite is there till the recent lows or maybe the 200 DMA, because the stock is more than 78% from pivot at this moment. So is holding on to a decent gain. If risk appetite is there, can definitely hold. If key moving averages gets reclaimed back on above average volume, then maybe a good set of rally can come in, because the stock is waiting for the right set of accumulation or the right set of investors to come in. Once that comes in, maybe you can see some good set of a good set of rally happening.
Thanks, Vakar. I'll take few queries and we can wrap up the session.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, we can start with Torrent Power.
I have discussed Torrent recently, Raj.
Okay. Crest Corporation, is it discussed? Okay. Uh, the stock has broken out from a cup with handle base pattern, and from there it has advanced more than 30% or so. But recently, for the last 2 to 3 weeks, it has been on the downward trajectory. Continuously, it has been falling, and the process it breached its 50 DMA as well. Even though the volumes are on the lower side, but the price action has completely deteriorated in this process. So most of the profits which were made on the breakout were gone. Most of them, only around 40% it is above the pivot. So going forward, it is advised to exit when the stock breaches its 100 DMA, which is very close to the current market price. Ideal fresh entry is not advised at this moment because there is no proper base formation. Let's wait for the stock to form another base pattern from here, and let's see how the stock breaks out from that pattern. Next is Techno Electric. It's a very good setup. At the first glance, you can see here the stock is trading very close to the breakout area. It is still 4% to the break pivot, but the volume action has been very good in the last 2 to 3 trading sessions. You can see sharp buying has happened, which is a very good sign when the stock is coming to the right side of the base pattern or coming near to the pivot. Volume picking up is a very good sign of a very good sign. Ratings have been very good and they remain strong. EPS has been very good at 89. Company has reported very good set of numbers for the last 4 quarters. It has reported double-digit growth in terms of sales and EPS, which is a very strong indicator. And technical ratings have also been very good. The price strength is at 90, and the price line is also forming blue dots, which is indicating that there is an impending strength or momentum still to be taken. There is still a strength remaining in the stock. So it's a very good catch to stock to catch at the pivot levels. If it breaks out on higher volumes, definitely a very good contender to take fresh positions. And on the stop loss levels, you can track 50 DMAs or 100 DMAs, whichever is near 7 to 8% level. Those levels can be kept as stop loss. We can take the last query, and that is we can discuss KPIT technologies. The ratings have deteriorated for the company. You can see most of the ratings are in the poor category. Currently, it is trading in a consolidation based pattern. It is not able to break out from the base pattern, it tried a couple of times to break out, but it found resistance at the pivot level, which is around 1900, 1920 is the ideal major resistance area for the stock. There is still 10% for the stock to break out from here. The ratings have also been not so good. So not a good stock to consider given the overall volatility in the markets and the ratings being poor. There are very good ample other stocks in the market which are looking good. Even though the volatility has increased, there are stocks which are showing strength. You can stick on to those stocks and ride on to the profits. I think we have answered most of the questions in this present in this stock Durbar session, but there are still stocks which are not answered because of the paucity of the time. We are not able to answer each and every question, but on the overall outset, we try to answer maximum number of the questions here. I think we can, if you are still felt left that your query is not answered, you can write to us on mail. Will take some time, and we can answer on the mail from the O'Neill's methodology. Thank you everyone for joining today's talk, Durbar, and we hope to see you again at tomorrow's pre-bell at 8:45 in the morning.